Right now is the best time to grow on social media. It has never been easier. Now, I study content all day long, and I've noticed 5 patterns that beginners are using to grow way faster than normal. So to make sure they were real, I started incorporating them into my own content. And since then, my growth on every platform has been straight up. Hundreds of millions of views, tens of thousands of new followers, more leads, more engagement. It is a cheat code. So in this video, I'm gonna break down those 5 social media trends that I think have completely changed the game and made it possible for beginners to win. It's clear to me we're in a new era, and if you make these 5 shifts, social media will be much easier. Now, the first change I've seen is around editing and pacing of videos. And if you're starting out, you're gonna love this, because editing is usually the hardest part for a new creator. Definitely was for me. But here's the takeaway. That crazy retention editing style, it's dead. The flash bangs, rapid cuts, screaming colors, wild transitions, it's all so loud, and people are sick of it. Instead, we're seeing much more casual approaches to content that are doing super well, especially on YouTube. Life of Rizza, Sam Sulek, even my friend Ben Kaluza. If you watch some of these videos, they don't try to hack your dopamine or give you a panic attack. They just tell stories in a nice, relaxed vibe. The editing meta has changed. Now, why is it so exciting? For you as a beginner, that style of editing is much more manageable to do. With just a few hours of learning, you can make something that's pretty close to what they're doing. But the big question is this a permanent shift, and why did it happen? Here's a psychology that explains why I think things have changed. Think of every video like a coconut. The actual value of the video is the meat or the fruit inside. The outer shell is what you need to crack to get through to the value. Retention editing, those flashbangs and crazy colors, that's like the outer shell of a video. It essentially protects, but really blocks the value. When you're watching a video with a ton of these crazy retention edited graphics, it actually takes a ton of energy to try to sift through and get to the core message. It's almost like a builder chiseling away trying to get to the inside. And the more retention editing tricks a video has, the thicker the wall and the harder it is to get in. Sometimes by the time a viewer actually breaks through the wall and gets to the message, the video's over. So they watched, but they didn't really feel anything or understand. The truth is, creators just started asking, what if we just removed that outer shell and just gave only the value? And that's exactly what started happening. So shift number 1 is that across all formats, long form, short form, no matter what it is, less editing is becoming more accepted. And not only can win, is winning compared to the crazy retention edited style. If you're a beginner, editing shouldn't be the constraint anymore, because you can win with very, very low frill edits. But there is a downside to this. With all the distracting editing taken away, that means the value, the meat of the coconut, matters that much more. And that's the second big shift. Content now has to be chock full of real value. If you're a knowledge creator, you can't hide behind distracting edits. You now need to offer real, tactical, and tangible knowledge. If you're an entertainment creator, you now have to offer excellent storytelling based on real experiences. Legitimate, deep knowledge and real experience. That is what's winning now. And here's the funny part. It takes less effort to make a video, but way more effort to actually develop real knowledge that you talk about within it. And that's the big thing. If there's only one thing you take away from this video, it's that viewers are looking for valuable information that can actually help them accomplish their goals. It sounds harsh, but they really don't care about you. They care about how you can help them. And if you help them enough over time, they will start to care and trust you. You as the creator are not the message. You are the messenger. Be specific, concise, clear, well-researched, and communicate the highest signal message you can. It doesn't matter the format, long or short, text or video. Viewers of information want tactical value that can help them achieve their goals. Now, if you're someone like me, that's actually really good news, because I've spent years in the trenches trying to learn actual value. The thing I wasn't able to do myself was edit a video in a pretty way. But now I don't have to edit a video in a pretty way, because I can just focus on delivering tangible, helpful value. And so to eat my own dog food here, what's the tactical advice if you're a beginner knowing this is a shift? The advice is, if you have real knowledge around a skill, lead with that knowledge as best you can. You will do super well. But if you don't have any knowledge around any skill, and that's totally fine if you're a beginner, you need to prioritize getting that knowledge before you make any content. The beauty of YouTube University is that you can go from zero to hero in just 3 months of studying anything. Once you learn that valuable skill, put it into practice yourself to prove that you know what you're talking about. Then, only after you have a real skill with real knowledge and real proof that you know that knowledge, start making content. Take me as an example. I tried to make content about social media strategy in the past, but at those times, I didn't actually know anything about social media strategy. I was just recycling the high-level nonsense that everybody says. And I know I didn't know because I hadn't grown my own social channels. I neither had knowledge nor proof. I could try to make a pretty looking video and and distract with all the retention techniques about my high level value, but the truth is that really wouldn't help people and those people wouldn't stick because I didn't know the answers. The good news is the best way to learn the answers is to actually do it for yourself first, so you can build both knowledge and proof at the same time. For me, I now have 700,000 followers and billions of views on social media, so only now do I feel comfortable coming to YouTube and trying to teach what I learned. This is the order of operations you should do things in. And if you do it this way and then you come and make content, social media will feel like easy mode for you and you will grow so fast because you will have what people want and what so few creators actually have: the value. And I know this isn't what everyone wants to hear. You want to figure out a way to grow on social media and make money without doing that much work. But the truth is, the people you follow, the people you love, the creators you follow, they spent years actually learning. Build skills, then proof, then content. That is the order you should do things in, and you will crush in the next era of social media. Now, before going to the third thing, I just want to say, if you want to learn the skill of storytelling, that's kind of the thing I've become an expert in. I share all of my best stuff for free in my community, Wavy World. And in this video, I've been harping on the fact that you need to learn skills first. So if you want to learn the skill of storytelling with content, that's the skill I chose. If you want to learn that skill, everything's free in Wavy World. I got an invite for you in the description. Check it out if you want. Now, to build on what we said so far, retention editing is dead and high value knowledge is critical. The third major shift is that niche positioning can now win huge. So what does this mean? In the past, creators tried to be as broad as possible. More views meant more eyes meant more clicks meant more dollars. But the problem with going as broad as possible is that you really create a low target hit rate. For every 100 people that see your thumbnail or watch your video, maybe there's only 3 that actually share the niche interest that you're trying to build for. And if you have a low target hit rate, even if you have high views, what you really have under the surface is low depth of loyalty, a bunch of factions, and the inability to sell through products when you want to. Niches are being rewarded in a massive way when they weren't before. And that is because the algorithms have been updated to prioritize audience matching. Audience matching means that the algorithm looks to serve your second video to the same people that watched and liked your first one. The narrower your topic, the tighter that match, the more the algorithm is willing to find and push to people in that niche. And this change in algorithms happened because social media platforms matured. There are so many people watching YouTube and Instagram and TikTok that these super duper small niches that wouldn't have had enough people in them before have now gotten massive. For example, there might be 500,000 people that love watching live knitting content on YouTube. The knitting niche was much smaller 10 years ago. And so if YouTube tried this audience matching, it would have run out of people to share your hyper niche knitting content with. But that has changed because now YouTube and Instagram and TikTok are so big that when it tries to find the audience match, it has plenty of people to push to. And so here's the tactical reason why this is so great for beginners. When you're starting out, there's probably only 1 to 2 areas where you feel like you may have advanced knowledge. Now you can start out making content obsessively about those hyper niches from the beginning. And YouTube or Instagram or TikTok will find an audience for you. You don't have to go broad and hunt for all these crazy ideas and experiments. You can just talk about the thing you actually like and that you know. This also means you don't have to cloak your niche ideas in broadly applicable wrappers. If you're a knitting hobbyist, the grannies just want to watch the needles. They don't want to hear about Taylor Swift. And I call this narrower scope a super duper niche. A niche would be like tech. A super niche would be like tech hardware. A super duper niche would be making tech hardware content for science teachers. If you want, you can now build a 7-figure business just making tech hardware content for science teachers. Now take me for example. I have 2 niches that I make content for. I'm super narrow on tech and AI in my short form content on Instagram and TikTok. And I'm super narrow on content marketing on YouTube and in my newsletter content department. But on my tech channels, I didn't always used to be this niche focused. I tried tech, I tried brand stuff, I tried strategy, all types of stuff. But the broader I went, the worse my stuff did. This is because I was making it way too hard for the algorithm to audience match. But as soon as I started going narrower and focusing just on AI, my stuff exploded. So if you're a beginner, pick a narrow niche where you have deep knowledge and just hammer that over and over and over. You will do better than you could have done in previous eras. And even though your audience size is smaller, the depth will be much deeper, and depth is where the dollars are. Now, the fourth social media shift that goes hand in hand with this niche focus is consistency and volume. So the playbook really is you pick a super duper niche, you have high value, high knowledge content, and you hammer it consistently over and over and over. Now, as a creator, of course, the consistency piece is something you've heard time and time again, but here's why consistency matters even more right now. When you combine consistency with a tightly dialed audience match, the algorithm gives you a multiplier effect. You won't believe it, but you will grow so much faster than you could have before. This is because, again, algorithms have gotten so much better at finding niche interested people. And their goal, once they find them, is to feed them that same content as close as they can over and over and over. Now, the second reason consistency matters so much right now is that people have never been more distracted. Now, this means your viewers literally need more reps of you just to remember, but it also means your content creator competition is way more distracted than they've ever been. While they're worried about broad-reaching ideas and trying to hack the algorithm with these crazy editing techniques, they're gonna be all over the place, and you're gonna be narrow, high value, consistent over and over and over. This is how you outrun your competition. And this is where all the tips I've said so far kind of come to a head. Let's be honest, the reason you're making content on social media is because you're trying to make money. Maybe you wanna be creatively fulfilled, but if that's your primary goal, you're probably not watching this video this far in. You wanna use social media to make money. And I'll say it again, the dollars are in the depth and the riches are in the niches. When you have a narrow focus, a tight audience match, high value content, and consistency, you will attract an audience that is looking to pay you for that knowledge. From there, it's up to you with how you're gonna package and sell that knowledge, but on the social media end, it will feel like a cheat code if you do these things. So to recap, the shifts we've covered so far: a lower emphasis on retention editing, a higher emphasis on value and storytelling, bigger returns from being niche focused, and more amplification from being consistent. Now, the fifth big shift for winning on social media, this is the last one, is what I call the modern content stack. And if you guys want, I'll make another video way more in depth on this in the future. Just leave it in the comments. The modern creator stack is the combination of short form video, long form video, and a newsletter. Short form for gas, YouTube for depth, and a newsletter for trust. I believe all modern creatorpreneurs that are gonna wanna make money on social media will need all three because they feed each other. If you wanna grow on easy mode and not have to put all your eggs in the basket of one video doing well, you need diversity of your channels. I've been doing short form for 2 years. I've had an email newsletter since I went full-time 1 year ago, and I started getting serious into YouTube about 6 months ago. And as I'm seeing all three ramp at the same time, the growth is crazy because they feed each other. So here's my tactical takeaway on this one if you're a beginner. If you're just trying to get the ball rolling and you don't have anything working, just pick one and ignore the other two for now. I recommend short form video because it's gonna be the easiest way to get to 5 to 10K a month, and you don't have to learn all of the YouTube skills like thumbnails, ideas, script writing, etc. I've got tons of free resources in the description if you wanna learn short form, because that's what I know best, that's what I started with, and I'm actually building out a program to help people that are trying to take it seriously. Now, if you love writing and you don't wanna be on camera, newsletters can be a great way to start, but they're kinda hard to grow unless you also have short form text platforms like X or Threads to drive traffic. YouTube is probably the most valuable of the three, but it requires a lot of skills. In addition to being on camera, you have to learn packaging, ideas, thumbnails, titles. There's a lot you have to learn with YouTube. That's why I didn't start with it. So if you're a beginner and you don't have anything going, I would pick one and attack it, but think in the back of your mind, you're gonna need to add the other two. Now, if you're not a beginner and you've tried one of these and you have some traction, I would think about adding one or both of the other ones. In the trainings that I'm putting together, I'm making a bunch of modules showing how I'm connecting the pipes between the three. I saw some growth on shorts alone, but once I started adding all three, I saw a ton of growth where one fed the other. I'll make more videos about this in the future, but just know when you have them all turned on, the growth is crazy, and it really does feel like social media is on easy mode. All right, so to recap the full video, these are the 5 tactical social media shifts that I'm seeing right now that I've incorporated in my own content that'll give you an opportunity to win on easy mode in 2025. Number 1, I picked an editing style that worked for me. It wasn't this crazy retention editing. We wanted a few templates. We wanted to keep it super manageable. Number 2, I focus on delivering max value and tactics in the weeds around the knowledge that I have in my content. High value content wins in this era. Number 3, I niched all the way down so that I could best tighten my audience match in the algorithm. For shorts, it's tech and AI. For long form, it's content marketing. Niche down as far as you can based on where your knowledge is. Number 4, I then doubled my consistency within that narrow focus. For shorts, I went from 3 a week to 4 or 5. And for longs, I started posting 2 YouTube videos every single week. And number 5, I added YouTube, I added the newsletter so that I had all 3, shorts, longs, and newsletter combined for the modern content stack. As soon as I did that, all of them started feeding each other and growth was off the charts. All right, that was a long one, but that's all we got for this video. Guys, as you know, I'm here to help you. So if there's anything I talked about that you want more details on, maybe I should make a separate video just on that, make sure to drop it in the comments. I have tons of free stuff, tons of free links in the description, so check that out. And until the next one, we'll see you then. Peace.